everybody, it's Mandy from Mandy Jean Chic, and I was in the mood to film a video tonight, so I decided to do one of the tag videos, a 10 Things About Me video today by Beauty Undergrad. She's one of my new favorite YouTubers because she is adorable, she has great fashion, and she's really she's kind of like quirky funny. When she says something funny, like you catch it and then you start laughing and she's laughing right along with you. She's really cool. So I watched her 10 Things About Me video today, and that actually inspired me to do this one. Unfortunately, I am still in the middle of rearranging my craft room, so right now I can't even film in there. So I'm filming in my boring bedroom, and I decided this was probably the best lighting I'm going to get today. So this is kind of like another pajama party type of video where we just chit chat and talk, but I thought I would do the 25 Things About Me video because I have a lot of new subscribers to my blog and to my channel that, you know, maybe don't know some of these things about me. Maybe you do. If you do, you know, that's great. If you don't, well, here's some quirky things about Mandy Jean. I wrote them down. I had them on my phone, and then my phone kept going blank on me, and I'd have to fiddle with it. So I actually wrote them out, and this is my favorite little notebook. It says "Be Glamorous." I got this in Michael's in the dollar aisle. I love their little journals. I was actually born on August 15th at 11:55 p.m. My mom used to love to hold that against me when I was a kid because if I was being a brat on my birthday, she would make me wait until 11:55 p.m. to open my presents. I grew up in a small town in Michigan. Very, very, very small town. I'm talking less than 500 people small town. It's really sad to... When the last time I went back was actually 3 years ago, and it's just dying. I moved to New Mexico when I was 23 years old. I met Brett. We dated for a little while. I feel like I'm super shiny today. We dated for a while, and we dated for this is a true story. We met in January, and he was living here in New Mexico, and I was living in Michigan. And he came up to see me in February of 06. Came up to see me in February of 06. We hung out for a weekend, and we were kind of basically dating by then, you know, even though he lived here and I lived there. We're doing the whole long distance thing, and I just fell in love with him. I'll never forget when I saw him come down the escalators at the airport in Lansing. I'll always remember that. But we spent the whole weekend together. He met my family. He met my grandparents. We went out to eat. It was really cool. It was really fun. In March, 2 weeks later, in March, I flew down here, hung out for a weekend. Brett was living in an apartment, so I helped him decorate his apartment and everything. Helped him grocery shop because he was a total bachelor. He had ramen noodles and beer in his fridge. So I was down here for a 4-day weekend. Went back out to Michigan. He came back up the next weekend for a dog show. And we went down to Detroit to Cobo Hall for the big dog show. We spent the weekend together. He spent time with my grandmother. We went out to dinner. We hung out again. That following week, I had the worst day at work ever. And I was in pharmacy district management at the time with Rite Aid. Crying. I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I had pharmacists calling sick. I had a store that wasn't open, and it was a terrible day. And he said, why don't you put in your 2 weeks notice and move down here? And I went, I can do that. I could do that. So I talked to my grandparents that night, and because I was living with them at the time, I informed them that, I'm going to move down to New Mexico with Brett. It was the weirdest thing ever. My grandparents didn't fight it. They were like, okay. I don't know if they were rather just sick of my crap, or if they were they truly felt what I did about Brett, he was the one. So I packed everything in my Mustang. I had a 2002 Mustang, white Mustang. Her name was Heidi. Packed everything in that. Brett flew up. It was actually 3 weeks later. He flew up, and I moved down here. I moved here basically May 1st, 2006. I was not even 23 years old. I was 22 in 10 months. And I moved 1,500 miles away from my family, my friends, and everything I know. Huge step in life. kind of quirky thing about Mandy Jean is I proposed to Brett. I didn't know I did, but I did. What actually happened was we were laying in bed and I said, why don't we just get married? Now, what I meant was, you know, why don't we get engaged and do the whole marry thing? What he thought it meant was, will you marry me? We actually did not have a wedding. My family was in Michigan, and he doesn't really have much family, so we couldn't see the point in spending all that money on a wedding when we could save for a house. So we were actually married on Valentine's Day in 2007. That day is hysterical because my family drove down from Michigan. We went up to magistrate court to get married by a judge who my husband was very close to. And Albuquerque had record snowfall. All the courts were closed. Not even joking. Not even lying. People were not getting married on Valentine's Day. I was like going to freak out because I was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. You know, I shouldn't do this. Typical freaking out thing. The judge called my husband and said, I brought my snow boots. I'm ready for you. I'm ready when you are. So we got married. After we got married, we went to Blockbuster. We rented Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The New Beginning and Saw 2 or 3 or whatever one it was. We also had McDonald's after we got married. We drove back to our apartment. My family was still in town, but they, you know, let us be alone. And we fell asleep. No, you know, we fell asleep. We took a nap. Next thing we know, we wake up at like 5 because people are pounding at our door saying, aren't you guys going to go have dinner with us? Because we had a reception. And everyone was like, oh. Brett and I were like, no, we went to bed. I never do anything like the proper way. Else, you guys, I know most of you know about me because the first picture in this video is a picture of me and my bloodhound Hank. My bloodhound is my child. He is 4. I adopted him. He is my pride and joy. He's my angel baby. I cannot imagine my life without my bloodhound. My first job when I moved here to New Mexico was actually as an assistant store manager for the clothing store Avenue. I drive a, again, I'm sure some of you guys know this, but I drive a lifted FJ Cruiser. I drive a PT Cruiser to work every day because that actually gets somewhat decent gas mileage. But my truck of choice is a 3-inch lifted FJ Cruiser. She is Voodoo Blue. Her name is Abby, and she's a badass. Before my FJ Cruiser, I actually had a Jeep Rubicon. I am a Detroit Red Wings fan. I'm a huge hockey fan. I'm a huge hockey girl. I love hockey. I argue with people at work about hockey because everyone is not a Detroit Red Wings fan, so I will argue until the end of the day how great the Red Wings are because they are the best team in the NHL. I really don't have a favorite player, honestly, because I like all the players who play for the Red Wings. I am a little disappointed that Damian Brunner and Daniel Cleary have not signed with the Wings for next season, but you know, things change, people move on, I guess. If I had to pick like my dream team for my personal hockey team, the only players I would add to my Red Wings team would be Malkin and Crosby, who play for the Penguins. And if my friend Dan sees this video, he's probably like spitting beer out of his nose. And the only reason why I say that is because could you imagine a line with Pavel Datsyuk, Henry Zetterberg, Malkin, and Crosby? Oh my gosh, that would be like the greatest thing ever. So that would be my hockey dream team. I would still pick Jimmy Howard as the goalie because he's the best goalie in the NHL. But I have been a Red Wings fan for a very long time, and I will continue to be a Red Wings fan. I have to be careful wearing my Red Wings propaganda here in New Mexico because we have a lot of Avalanche fans. So there's a mutual hatred for for Avs Red Wings fans. So I've gotten into many discussions with people in stores wearing my Red Wings jerseys because of the hatred there. So it's kind of funny. But yes, I am a diehard Detroit Red Wings fan. I even grew up playoff brows for the playoffs. It's pretty awesome. My favorite music group is Guns N' Roses. I have been a Guns N' Roses fan since I was 4 years old. True story. My very first tape, was in 1987, and it was Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Why my mom let me listen to this when I was 4 years old, I'll never know. But I used to play Welcome to the Jungle like as loud as I could on my little tape player. And I have been a Guns N' Roses fan. The best concert I have ever been to, and I've been to a lot of concerts. I used to love to go. Now that I'm a little bit older, I don't really go as much because Brett hates going to concerts. So I don't really go much anymore. But my 26th birthday, I went to go see Shinedown, which is definitely, like, Shinedown is second to Guns N' Roses. I love Shinedown. Probably my top 3 bands are Guns N' Roses, Shinedown, and Avenged Sevenfold. And the only reason why I like Avenged Sevenfold is because M Shadows is so cute. Ugh. But I went and saw, on my 26th birthday, I went and saw Shinedown, and Hailstorm opened up, which now I'm a huge Hailstorm fan. So it was Hailstorm, Chevelle, which Chevelle was awesome, Shinedown, and Stained. You know, Stained was good. I really didn't listen to Stained as much. Or excuse me, I didn't really listen to Stained as much as, I did Shinedown and things like that. So, I mean, they were okay. The really cool part was me and my friend were standing in the crowd, and one of the law enforcement officers who were doing security knew me. By then, I'm like 4 beers deep, so, I'm fun Mandy Jean at that time. And he's like, stay here. So I was like, oh no, he's going to call Brett and tell Brett that I'm tipsy and, have a little bit too much fun. So me and my friend stood there, and through the crowd walks my friend, because he was doing the security, with Aaron Lewis, the singer for Stained. And me and my friend were like, and this is kind of funny and quirky. I am 5'2.5". Brett is 6'5.5". I have been known to argue with the DMV to get that ½ inch printed on my driver's license, but apparently you can't do that. So I said to the gal, I was like, so put me down as 5'3". And I'm not kidding you. She looked at me, she says, ma'am, we can't do that. That is falsifying information. I'm like, well, I'm not 5'2", so that's falsifying information too. But no, she's like, they put 5'2" on my driver's license. She's like, and what is your weight? 104 pounds. She wouldn't put that on either. It's not a very good day at the DMV. Law enforcement are absolutely my heroes. I have a great amount of respect for what they do, for what they go through, the crappy money that they make for putting their lives on the line. I am very much pro law enforcement. I actually, a lot of the times, like if I'm in a store or getting lunch or whatever, and I see law enforcement, I'll buy them lunch. All the time. There's actually an officer who is here in New Mexico that I see him quite frequently, and I buy him coffee almost every Thursday morning when we see each other, and he's really cool, and he has a police canine, so I buy his canine water. Okay, this looks a little bit different. My other camera battery just died, so I had to go get my Nikon. And I actually don't like filming on this camera because it's just, I don't know, I'm just not used to it. But I do have a Nikon D3100 that I like. I actually like my Canon a little bit more, but so I'll continue on with my list. I do go shooting quite frequently. Brett and I both shoot. We both own guns. My favorite make of gun is a Kimber. My favorite gun is a Kimber Solo. I love shooting that gun. My favorite pistol expert is a guy named Mike Hughes. He was actually on Top Shot season 3, I believe. And he was beat by Dustin. He's an amazing, amazing marksman. I've followed him ever since Top Shot, and he's a swell guy too. He actually sent me a message on Facebook thanking me for listing him as one of my favorite athletes, which like totally made my day. And he seems like he's such a cool guy. I'm kind of bummed he's not on Top Shot All-Stars, but I know he's very successful. So, but yeah, he's my favorite marksman. And he's super cute too. I cannot drive without music. I have to listen to music when I drive. It drives me insane if I'm not listening to music. I don't really like sing to the radio or anything, but I have to have that background noise. I cannot, when I'm driving, if the song Freebird comes on, I have to change it because every time I've listened to Freebird, I have been pulled over for speeding. True story. It actually does not even know this about me. Nobody knows this about me, and I'm coming clean now after 3.5 months. Back in April, I broke my toe. How did I break my toe? I told my husband that I was cleaning house, and one of the dogs grabbed something or something, I don't remember what it was, and I stubbed my toe on a chair. I kicked a chair, basically, an accident. What really happened was I was watching a hockey game, and the Red Wings lost. They lost bad, so I kicked a chair, and I broke my toe, and it hurt so bad. But I was too embarrassed to tell Brett what I did because I'm not allowed to watch hockey and drink beer anymore ever since I started throwing stuff at the TV. So, sad face. But yeah, that's how I broke my toe. I got mad at a hockey game and I kicked a chair. Pet peeve are people who abuse animals. I do not have any respect for anybody who ever abuses an animal. My bloodhound, before I adopted him, he was abused, and he is the best dog I have ever had. He's my best friend, and to think that someone hit and abused that dog, off that rant. 25th thing about me, which I think I've actually passed a few of them, but I've just been chit-chatting with you guys. I absolutely love my life. If anyone wanted to know kind of one thing about me, I'm always a friend first. Even if I'm mad at you, even if I'm pissed to the max, like level 7 aggravated, I will still try to be your friend first, because I would rather be your friend and help you through it, and then after you're done, I'll tell you, you know what, you kind of made me mad. But that is probably the biggest thing. If anyone ever wants to know anything about me, or what they would write on my tombstone, would be Mandy Jean. She was my friend. If you filmed any of like the Q&A videos or any of the facts about me videos, leave me video responses because I love to check them out. I also love to check out new YouTube channels. If you send me an email, ask me to check out your YouTube channel, I probably will check it out. But on the flip side, check mine out too. It's really the nice thing to do. But yeah, leave me a video response, leave me a comment. I would love to see them. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!